Larry Johnson's 1 year into a whopping $84 million contract, but the one word swirling around him is not greatness, but doubt. 2 back injuries last season, followed by a timid showing at last summer's World Championships, have led many to say Johnson's lost some of his powerhouse effectiveness and turned tentative. Johnson acknowledges he wasn't his old self in over a year, but that he'll be back.
Just ready to get out and start practicing and getting in basketball shape and, getting out and competing this year and trying to go back to the old Larry.
If he stays healthy, I'm really looking probably into December, early January before he gets back into the flow that the Larry of old.
If the jury's out on Johnson, it is on Bristow as well. Can he finally crack the whip and harness all that young talent? Which leads us to the other franchise player, center Alonzo Mourning. If the Hornets missed Johnson for 31 games, they were positively lost for most of the 22 games Mourning missed with a leg injury. Now Mourning's in camp with a sore toe and his foot in a cast, but he vows to be ready and says adversity is the gateway to wisdom.
Last year, we had to overcome some obstacles and we had to experience some adverse situations. And I think because of that, that can only better us as a ball club. And I think that we're going to come back this year stronger mentally and physically, and I'm really excited for the season. I think sky's the limit for our potential.
But turning potential into championship contention is another matter. Enter 41-year-old Robert Parrish, brought in not to just add depth off the bench, but maturity to a young team that can use a heavy dose of fathering.
I don't think Lonzo needs any fathering, coaching, whatever terminology you want to use. I think the only thing that Alonzo Mourning is lacking right now is experience.
The Charlotte Hornets, only the sky's the limit. But will they finally soar like the space shuttle, crash like a paper plane, or end up floating once more somewhere in between? They've got 82 regular season and a heap of playoff games to find out.
After 4 years as head coach at Howard University, former Nets assistant Butch Beard returns to New Jersey, taking over for the departed Chuck Daly. These are big shoes to fill.
There's no way that I can replace the Chuck Daly. I mean, his record speaks for itself. I hope I'm in the coaching profession as long as he's been in it, and I'm hoping that I'll be half as successful.
His success will largely depend on his relationship with his 2 All-Stars, guard Kenny Anderson and forward Derek Coleman.
When I told he and Kenny, I said, look, you 2 guys are the leaders. You guys will be the guys that will take us. How far you want to take us is up to you.
He's been here and it's been great. We've been having a lot of fun, just working hard. He just said, come out and do what you have to do.
The Nets cannot afford an injury to Anderson, their star point guard. He seems to have overcome his lingering wrist problem, and despite a tender hamstring that has kept him out of preseason action, Anderson says he'll be ready to go.
New Jersey has never won 50 games during the regular season, and although they've made it to the playoffs the past few years, they've only advanced past the first round once.
But the Nets have made steady progress in the win column the last 3 years, especially when you look at the 5-year period before that. The average record over that span was 22 wins and 60 losses, and no Net team during that time won more than 26 games.
I think this franchise now is in better shape than we've been since I've been here. And I think it's only because we've made some very good decisions on draft picks. We've made some good decisions on free agents. And we've gone from being a team that a lot of people laughed about to a team now that is a respectable basketball team.
When I first came in the league, I was playing in Phoenix at the time. And when you played New Jersey, it was kind of an easy night. But that was a long time ago. Now they have a talented group, and I should say we have a talented group now, and it's going to be a much different type of game. You're going to have to be competitive. You're going to have to come in and play a great game if you want to get a win. It's not going to be easy.
Several questions remain. Can Chris Morris stay healthy? Can the Nets find a capable backup for Anderson? And can they get some offense from the center position from Benoit Benjamin, Dwayne Shinsis, or top draft pick Yinka Dare? Maybe this team's success hinges on one word: commitment.
I have to start with myself. I have to say, hey, I'm tired of, winning 45 games and being in 5th or 6th place in the Eastern Conference, going to the playoff first round, lose.
you know, I have to commit myself, and, you know, hopefully, you know, the other guys will commit themselves and follow.
Those in the know say this is a team to be reckoned with, but those who have been there a while remember the bad old days for the Orlando Magic.
I was here when they called the team Orlando Tragic.
While tragic might be too strong a word, getting erased in 3 straight games from the playoff picture last spring after winning 50 games was at the least downright embarrassing. Even with all that dazzling talent, Orlando's flaws were exposed. Now they're back, and the only goal is to get better.
This is how high you guys get off the ground. You're either in the worst shape of your lives or you don't give a shit. There's nobody going after a rebound out here.
Rebounding, defense, and experience is what the Magic need to get to the next echelon. Here's the good news. They went out and got Horace Grant, who brings all 3 to the table, along with 3 championship rings to prove it.
I come out and I just do my job. I hit the boards, I block shots, I do the things that I did in Chicago. And hopefully that majority of everybody out there can pick up on it.
Everybody on the team's happy to have Horace on their side because they sure hated playing against him. But nobody's more delighted than the big guy. Now, Shaquille O'Neal won't have to swoop up every rebound and block every shot.
I'm glad he's here with me. I'm sure the rebounds that I can't get, he's going to be there. And we're going to help each other out, and we're going to be unselfish with each other, and we should go a long way.
With more freedom in the middle, Shaq may even silence his critics and take his low-post game to another dimension. But the talent just keeps on bubbling over on this team. Penny Hardaway is finally in camp and poised to become the next megastar point guard. And to prop him up in the backcourt is another new addition, Brian Shaw, who knew a contender when he saw one and signed as a free agent to add minutes off the bench and maturity to make sure this mostly young team doesn't forget what it's here for.
Just have to kind of keep our head on straight and remember what our task at hand is, and you know, realize that you have to come in the way that you practice is the way that you're going to play in the games.
But back to the big guy in the paint. Well, you tell him it's not his color. But can you mix business with pleasure?
It's all business. Come on, Blair, how you like us now?
It's a long season, and this is a young team that needs to stay loose because this could be the start of something great.
Penny Hardaway, as you probably heard on Sports Tonight last weekend, has in fact...
Now, we know that we can do it. So we have to make this sincere effort and commitment one more time.
The Rockets know what it took to win it all because they did. Now they have to stay there. They won it with the best defense in the history of the franchise. On offense, they've got Akeem at the hub and a bunch of spokes named Kenny Smith, Vernon Maxwell, Mario Elie, and Sam Cassell, any of whom can catch fire and hit from anywhere. But they all know they can't afford an off night because everybody's out to get them now.
We're the team being haunted now, you know, and we got to be ready to, we got to be ready for that. And if we're not, on any given night, on our floor or their floor, teams can beat our butt.
We accept one another, not really competing with one another or jealous of one another. We realize that we have to do it together.
We got the confidence, we got the experience, and I think if we just stay focused and stay healthy, we'll be back in the finals.
But whoa, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. There's still the great unknown of a new season ahead, and the Rockets and their coach can't wait.
Right now, I feel like a guy who's ready to go on a roller coaster ride, and he's never been on it before. So right now, I'm clicking on that first hill, and who knows what's going to come up. That's what coaching's all about.
What little history the Clippers have since moving to Los Angeles 10 years ago is bad. Bad luck, bad management, bad results. Even the high points were short-lived, as 2 straight playoff seasons were erased by a dismal 27-55 campaign last year. So it would seem fair to assume this year's Clippers team would struggle too, if only people knew who was on this year's team.
What is this thing? Harper's gone? I know Danny Manning is gone. Is Ron Harper still on there?
For the Clippers, I think his name is Kareem Abdul.
Last I remember Dominique Wilkins, but now he's gone. So that's about the best I can do. There's some guy who's real overweight, plays center.
That overweight guy, Stanley Roberts, is one of few returnees on a roster devoid of heavyweight stars. Pooh Richardson and Malik Sealy replace Wilkins, Harper, and Mark Jackson. The Clippers are hoping for addition by subtraction.
I mean, we had those guys here last year, but they were unhappy, and we had a terrible season. We only won 27 games. We did not go to the playoffs, and that's with those guys.
Proving this offseason that the Clippers head coaching post is anything but a plum assignment, it took them 73 days to find a willing replacement for the fired Bob Weiss. The man who finally accepted the rebuilding challenge was a 60-year-old ex-Marine who has the distinction of having coached and lost more NBA games than any man in history.
It's a great opportunity to do what I do best, and that's take a situation like this and try and turn it around. Try and keep it off the terminal list.
He's basically from the old school. You know, he's you know, he wants you to come out and work hard and be dedicated to playing, and that's what you want to do. I mean, you got to respect the person that's like that.
What Fitch is preaching most of all, beyond fundamentals, is effort, even when the results don't immediately produce victories.
If we go out and play hard and you know, hustle and do just the little things, I think people will start taking notice.
If we can do those things, we'll be able to compete. If not, it may be a long season.
Last season, even Jack Nicholson was mostly a no-show, but so were the Lakers. It was a washout year. The Lakers neither respected nor responded to rookie coach Randy Fund, who was fired in late season and replaced by Magic Johnson, who called this group the most selfish bunch he'd ever been around. Enter Del Harris, brought in to stabilize the situation, mask a litany of deficiencies, and get this group on the same page and level of desire to start winning.
It's difficult for the players today to subordinate their own interests to the team interests.
Newly acquired Cedric Ceballos brings badly needed rebounding and scoring punch at forward, and may have to be the go-to guy on a team in which the whole will clearly have to be greater than its parts.
Together, if we form, it could be one good team.
Yeah, we don't have any all-stars on this team, and it's going to take a team effort. We can't let one player go out there and think he's the man on this team.
The last guy who was the man was Magic the player. Since he retired, it's been a steady drop down the elevator shaft, or put more delicately.
Now is the era of kind of like that hush-hush talent, you know.
But there are advantages to not being taken seriously.
It's easy for us this year because no one is counting on us to win, and no one is counting on us to be in the playoffs. So I think we can sneak up on a lot of teams.
The Lakers' most crying need is easy points, and they intend to go after them with defense.
We didn't do as much strapping last year or a year before that or any year, you know, I've been here, but now we can do it and we can do it well.
I've always wanted a younger-legged, quicker team in order to do some of those things, and so now I have it.
Sounds good on paper, but as the sports adage goes, they don't play them on paper, do they?
Everybody's talking about, all I want to do is win, all I want to do is win, but then everybody wants to go to heaven. The only problem is you have to die to go to heaven, and people also have to pay a price to win. And the question is not, do you want to win? It's, do you want to do the things that create winning? And so we're saying the right things right now. I'll let you know. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.